Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Debbie and I am a money coach. And today I want to talk to you about 11 ways that I use my cell phone to save me money. And I hope that these tips help you save money. And let me know down below what your favorite tip is. So the first one is I love using the calendar and reminders on my phone. One of the ways that I do, and it helps me save money, is by putting down, like, whenever I sign up for anything that's like a free trial, right? Have you ever signed up for a free trial and then you forget when the free trial is over and the next thing you know, your credit card on file is being charged? That almost happened to us. So anyone that knows me knows that I am a 90s girl. Anything 90s, I'm all about it. So when the Britney Spears documentary came out on Hulu, I really wanted to watch it. But of course, you need the Hulu app on your TV in order to be able to watch it. And they were offering a 7-day free trial. So signing up for it was so easy. I just had to point the remote at the TV, put in my email and set up a password, and boom, 7 days of a free trial. So that night, or maybe it was the next day, my husband and I, we watched the documentary. So I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get charged for it. So I put a reminder on my phone the day before, not the day of, because I think that we're all really busy no matter what we're doing in life, whether you're a parent, whether you have a family, whether, you know, you have work obligations or anything else. We all can get carried away with time and then think to ourselves, when was that free trial over, right? And next thing you know, your credit card is being charged. So I set a reminder on my phone the day before. And not only did I put it on my calendar, but I set a reminder so that my phone would actually give me a notification. And another tip is to set the notification for a time when you are available. Like, I would never set it at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon because I have a 9-to-5 job. So my reminders, I set them after 9 p.m. and I'll see the reminder and I'll take care of it. So if you're gonna do that, make sure to set the reminder for a time when you are available. So for us, of course, did they make it easy for us to cancel? No, of course not, because they're a business, right? And that's why they offer the free trial, because they want to have you either hooked on their service or forget about the trial altogether. So although all I had to do was point the remote at the TV to sign up for it, I had to actually log onto our account online to be able to cancel it. So that's why I was glad that I gave myself that extra day, because in case life happens and something popped up and I had to divert my attention to something else, I still had that next day in order to cancel it. And then since I always look at my bank and credit card statements, which I think if you guys, I know it sounds like a lot of work, it's literally minutes, like once a month. I made sure that my account was not charged. So that's really important to follow up just to make sure, because you never know what they're gonna do on their end, but you can protect yourself that way. The second way that I save money by using my phone is by using the Flip app for groceries. The Flip app is a free app that you can use, and you can use it so many ways, but I like to concentrate on groceries. So I create a grocery list on that app, and that way I literally am dictating as I'm going through my fridge, freezer, and pantry throughout the day. Like if there's something I notice that I miss, you always have your phone nearby. So I grab the Flip app and I just say, 2 gallons of milk, and that way I don't forget it. So, and another feature with the Flip app is that it has all of the circulars in the stores that are near you. And if you tend to look to see what's on sale and you have the groceries on it, it'll actually link it to the sale item. So by one click, you can move the milk to the circular and you've got the price there too. So it actually creates a list with all the prices on it. So at the end, you know how much you're gonna spend before you even step into the store, as long as you stick to your list. But the Flip app is great, and that way you can always stay on top of sales and plan your meals according to that and save more money. The third way that I save money by using my phone is I love Rakuten. I've talked about it before, but Rakuten is a free app, or you can also set it up on your laptop. But if you tend to shop on your phone, then it's a great app to use. So all you need is a name, password, and your address. And what it does is anytime you're gonna shop, let's say I'm gonna buy something from Macy's, I go to Rakuten, I type in Macy's, Rakuten tells me that they're gonna give me 5% back on my shopping that day. So it directs me to the Macy's app on my phone or the Macy's website, and I can do my shopping the way I normally would do it. And then at the end, when I buy it, Rakuten will give me coupons sometimes for additional savings. But my favorite part of Rakuten is at the end, once the purchase goes through, you'll get a little notification and it says that 5% is going cash back to you. And quarterly, they actually mail you a physical check. That's why they need your address. And it's a free app. You don't pay anything for this service at all, because Macy's pays Rakuten, in this example, to direct you to their website, which you were gonna do anyway, right? And that way they get a commission and they give you a percentage back. So during the holidays, have gotten back checks for $150, $200. I think my max was $210 one time. I was shocked, but that was during the holidays when I was already buying what I already had on my list and I had already budgeted for it, because that way you don't overspend because you're thinking you're gonna get paid cash back, because it is a small percentage, but it does add up and every dollar counts anyway. And if you guys are not familiar with Rakuten and you want to give it a try, I'm going to leave my link down below. And if you use it, Rakuten will give you a cash bonus for signing up. How great is that? And I have a video on all of the cashback options that I have on apps, and I'm going to link it at the end so you can get even additional savings by using your phone. The next way that I love to use my phone to save money has to do with expenses that happen once a year. For example, Mother's Day, Father's Day, any kind of gathering that you have with family and friends. Like, we love to barbecue, so we'll have family and friends come over for, 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day. So on those days, the amount of extra money that I use for those parties, I keep tracked on my phone. But it's also Thanksgiving, because that's not a regular grocery budget, right? That is extra because there's so many extra things that you buy just for that one meal, especially if you're hosting. Gosh, that can get expensive. And then of course, Christmas, which we'll talk about soon. So when expenses, and also, how can I forget? Birthdays and anniversaries, those are big. Any kind of expense that you have just once a year, you don't want the next year, when that month comes up and you're budgeting for it, to be looking through statements and online and trying to figure out, how much did I spend on that category last year? Instead, it's so easy. I use the notes on my phone, and all I do is on the top, I just put the year. So for this year, I'm putting 2021. And for every expense, I literally have Mother's Day, this is how much I spent. Father's Day, this is how much I spent. So next year, when you're budgeting for that month, all you got to do is look at the notes and you have those figures right there. And that way you can not only budget for it, but you can stay hopefully under that figure, if not just match that figure, so you don't go over budget and overspend. Let's talk about coupons and cash back, right? Have you ever had a cash back or a coupon that you really wanted to use, and by the time that you found it or thought of it, it expired and you're just like, oh my gosh. One time, years ago, I had cash back on Kohl's, which is gold to me because I buy so many things from Kohl's. So one time, many years ago, I had cash back and it was a good one. It was like, I think close to $100. I lost it. I, switch purses every once in a while. I never thought to put a reminder on my phone as to when that time expired. And by the time I found it, the time had expired by like a week. But I learned from that experience and I'm like, never again. So find out when coupons are going to expire. Put it on your phone, put it on your calendar and set a reminder, which is what I do. Every time that I have a good coupon that I know I'm gonna use, I'm not asking you to use every coupon that you have and buy things that you don't need. But if you budget or plan for it, why not get the additional savings of using that cash back or using that coupon, right? So put it in a place that, first of all, put it in a place where you know you're going to find it. I put it right in my wallet. Secondly, set a reminder on your phone. So I put on there the day that it starts, I put a reminder the day before it ends to give me that extra 24 hours to either spend it or let it go. If I don't need it, I'm not gonna use it. But if I need anything for the kids or anything, even socks, you know, I'm going to use it because that way I can save money and not feel bad afterwards when you remember after that you had a good coupon or cash back, which is free money, and you didn't use it. Along those lines are sales. Some sales happen once a year, twice a year, and if you take advantage of it, because again, it's items that you've budgeted for and that you planned on ahead of time. For example, winter coats. My little one needs a winter coat. So I am keeping an eye on Kohl's and Macy's because Macy's has great coats for kids. So I am keeping an eye on those sales. And as soon as I see that that sale is going to start, because I'm looking at the cycle for the following week, because I'm using my Flip app, I'm putting that reminder on my phone again because I want to make sure that while that coat is on sale, I get a hold of it, because afterwards it's going to go back to full price before the winter starts. And then that's when I'm going to end up paying full price, or sometimes they even mark it up once the weather changes because they're obviously out to make a profit. But you can really get savings if you look at the sales and set a reminder for your sales as well. Let's talk about the holidays. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever started shopping for the holidays, for gifts for your loved ones before you actually had a list? That's happened to me. I've been like in the middle of the summer, I'll be like at a toy store or shopping online, and I see something that I know that one of my kids is gonna really like, and I have a good coupon and it's on sale and I'm using Rakuten, triple savings right there. I go and I get it, right? And then what I do, I hide it. Typically in the garage, I hide it so the kids can't come across it. But then now, months later, right, I'm now shopping for the holiday. I have what the kids want on my list. And I'm thinking to myself, did I buy something for them? I'm not sure if I bought something for them. So I'll buy the gifts that we would normally buy that we budgeted for. And then as I go to hide those gifts, I come across what I bought months ago. There you go, extra gift for one kid, which of course then what does that make us do? Because, you know, they look at how much each one gets. We have to get one for the other two kids. And now, that one gift that saved me money is costing me more money because now I've got to make it even, because that's how kids are. Or I can save it for their birthday. But again, am I going to remember it? I don't know. So what I like to do is as soon as I buy a gift, I make a note. I create a new note on my phone that says like holidays, right? Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it is that you're celebrating. And I list all the people that I'm going to shop for. And then as I, throughout the year, buy something and I hide it, I just put on there, for example, my son, his name is Brian. So I put Brian and then I put what I already bought him. And I'll even put on there where I hid it because I don't want to forget about it and then come across that gift like months later and then be like, what am I going to do with this now? So, and then what I like to do also is as I'm going through, now the mindset is on the holidays, right? So I list everyone that I'm going to buy gifts for, family and friends. And I put on their ideas throughout the year that I think of when, you know, someone says like, oh, I'd really like to have, I wish I had this. I'm like, okay. So I go on my notes folder, I put in what I think I want to get that person, right? So before you're even thinking about shopping, you've got the list of people you're shopping for and gift ideas. And if you already have your holiday budget and you know how much is the maximum you're going to spend, put on there how much you want to spend per person. And then as you go and you shop and hopefully you have a coupon, right? Hopefully cash back and you're using Rakuten. Now as you're spending money and you are deducting it from your holiday savings, which hopefully you have, you're also putting on there how much you spent. So it's the person's name, the gift you got, if you're hiding it, where it is. For kids, you know what I'm talking about. And then how much you wanted to spend, how much you budgeted to spend, and how much you actually spent. And hopefully by the end, you're going to see that, for example, let's say you budgeted $70 for someone and you only spent $40, that $30 is now additional savings to you. So at the end, whatever you have left over, that cash, hopefully you have money left over, that cash can be allocated towards another expense like holiday cards or your holiday dinner, or even better, put it back in the account for the next holidays or for something else that you're saving up for. If you have another savings goal that you're saving up for, now you've got a head start because you were so smart in how you saved for the holidays and what you spent, and you didn't overspend because you kept it all on your phone. And I have an entire video on how I save money for the holidays and how I strategically spend, and I'll link that one at the end. This one's another one that I learned the hard way. Have you ever had a bill that you know is due on a certain day, but you didn't have the funds available to pay for it when you did your budget for the bills last time? So you think to yourself, I can pay it next week when I have extra funds in my account. But what happens when you forget that you have that bill coming up? Now you're going to get charged a late fee and possibly additional interest. So what I like to do is, if I have a bill coming up that I know, like, okay, when I get paid, I have to pay this bill that day, I put it on my phone and I set a reminder. Because again, if you pass the due date, you're going to get extra fees, late fees, interest, who knows what else they're going to probably add on to that. So that's another way of staying on top of things, is by using your calendar and using your reminders, and make sure that you set the time for a time that you know you're going to be available to take care of it. Because then even if you waited till the next day, it's going to cost you money, and it might even hurt your credit score. This is one that I have not seen anyone else talk about. So I'm like, how Debbie saves exclusive. No. So vacation days at work. If you have a 9 to 5 or whatever hours you do, and you have vacation and sick days, first of all, you want to try to track those days, because you want to make sure that you use them, right? Because you never want to get burned out at work or not have time to take care of your personal things because you're not taking the time that's actually given to you. It's part of your salary. That's the way I like to think of it. Part of your salary is your vacation days and your sick days. So not only are you working for pay, but you're working for these benefits too. Let's not even get into the 401k contribution. That's another video. But these are part of your salary. People don't think of it that way sometimes. And then they think like, oh, like I don't want to upset my boss by using all of my vacation days. It's like, no, that's part of your compensation package, right? Vacation days and sick days. So try to use your vacation days so that you can relax, take time for you, or get things done and get them crossed off your list. But when it comes time to save money, here's one. My friend Sharon and I were talking, I want to say like 2 years ago. We were talking about our vacation and sick days. And she asked me, like, you know, like she always feels as though she never uses all of them. And I asked her, I said, have you ever asked your boss if you can get compensated for that time? Because think about it, right? You're being paid to be off. If you don't take that time, which I'm not telling you not to take the time, but if you don't take the time, there's a chance that your boss will compensate you for those days, because it's not costing them anything extra. They were planning on paying for you to be off anyway. So she just looked at me like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I know my job, they do that. Like if whatever, there's a limit. I think there's 5 days that we can do this. But for her, she was like, I never thought of it. I'm like, ask them. That's what they're there for. They're there for you to ask questions if you have an HR rep or, you know, an office manager. So she went and she asked, and they said, yes, like we offer, I don't remember how many, but we offer before the end of the year, you can get paid for this time off. So she was like, are you kidding? So she was so excited because she had saved up for the holidays. She had a sinking fund for the holidays, but she actually got paid almost an extra paycheck. And that money she used for the holidays. So her sinking fund, she saved it, and she actually went on a little mini vacation the following year. And she was like, Debbie, like, what a great idea. Look how much I've saved. So before you just let your vacation days sit there and have your office absorb it, which you're really giving away money. And again, I'm not judging, but I just want to make that point. It's part of your compensation. Ask before the end of the year, do you offer compensation back for unused vacation and sick days? That could be a way that you can save money. And I like to keep track of my vacation and sick days on my phone, because everyone, everywhere, you carry your phone wherever you go, right? And if you're going to sign onto your computer or your laptop or your iPad to put a note in there, you never know, like, where did I put that note? Like, what did I do? It's right here. It's with you. So I keep track of it. And before the end of the year, if I have any unused time, I ask for compensation back. Or sometimes what I do also is I have my days moved on to the following year. That way I have additional time off that I can take when necessary. So there's flexibility sometimes with your job, but without asking, you don't know if you're missing out on that money. And without keeping track of it, you don't know what you use, you don't know what you can ask for, and you don't know what you can possibly get paid for. So the notes folder for that also is awesome. And now speaking of the holidays, here's another one. I use my credit cards. I know I've told you before that I'm credit card debt free, and I am, but I use my credit cards for budgeted items, like for example, groceries, right? Any kind of expense that I can put on my credit cards that I know I have the cash in my budget to pay for at the end of the month, I take advantage of it. I use my credit cards for the rewards. So, and I know some people will say like, Debbie, like that's how you overspend, but I'm not a natural spender. So I stay on budget and I use my credit cards. So I have cashback rewards on my credit cards. So I set a reminder on my phone. So around the end of October or beginning of November, I call up my credit card companies and I say to them, I already know how much it is because I've logged online, but I'll say to them like, can you please send me a check for my cash back? And what they do is, they'll mail it to me. It probably takes like sometimes like a week, 2 weeks. So that's why I do it in the beginning of November. Why? So not only do I have my sinking fund for the holidays, but now I've got that extra cash back coming back to me. One year, since it was one of the years where we had to do work on the house, and so we had to dip into our emergency fund, unfortunately, I still use my credit cards for the expenses and then use the emergency fund money that we would have spent anyway to pay for it. I got back $500 in cash back. And that cash back I used for the holidays. My sinking fund for the holidays actually stayed in there. I decided to keep it in there. And then the next year, I didn't have to put so much money in per paycheck into that sinking fund. So I saved money throughout the year by not using all that money because I used my cash back on my rewards. I was so excited. Having extra cash in that holiday fund for the following year, to me, I was just like, let's sit back, let's decrease my bi-weekly payments into that account, saving money, and still have the exact amount at the end of the year so that I can spend the next year. So I was so excited. But in order to remember to give those credit card companies enough time to give me back the cash back, I put it on my phone. And I do it every year. I set a reminder that actually is annual. So the next year I don't even have to think about it. So last week in October or first week in November, it's on my phone. As soon as I get that reminder, a few phone calls away, I've got checks coming in the mail. And the last way that I use my phone to save money are budgeting apps. My husband and I, we use the EveryDollar app. We use the free version of it. There are many free versions of budgeting apps that you can use on your phone. The reason why I like EveryDollar is because my husband has it on his phone. I have it on my phone. Anytime that we're out and I spend anything, for example, if I go get gas for my car, before I leave that pump, I literally go on EveryDollar, I go to gas, I put in the amount, and I hit enter. That's it. My husband will do the same on his phone. And then at the end of the month, or whenever we decide to have our budgeting meeting that we do once a month, all we have to do is log onto our account, and all of the expenses that both he and I did together are on there per category. So it's an easy way that we can stay on the same page when it comes to spending money and stay on budget. So our phones are a great way of doing that. And again, there are different budgeting apps, but we like EveryDollar just because of that convenience of having it on the laptop as well as on our phones. And we can also make sure that if any extra expense comes once a year, not only is it on our EveryDollar app, but I also move it to the notes folder. So I have that expense for the following year, like I mentioned before, so we stay on budget. And if you guys have never budgeted before, I have a free printable that is just the bare basics on how to get started, and I'm gonna link that below. And if you guys need additional help from me, I'm gonna leave a link to my calendar down below as well. Click it and schedule a call, and let's talk. I'd love to see how I can help you achieve every money goal you set for yourself. And you can really see how you can change the relationship that you have with money so that you can start succeeding. The results that I get from my clients are so inspirational, and I'm going to do a separate video coming up on their results so that you can see how by changing that relationship, you can literally change your life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please click the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and to click on that bell, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.